All right, guys, so we're going to jump into our 10-year vision. We're going to break it up kind of into 3 parts. And again, what you're going to see kind of over and over again, kind of as a rhythm, is that summary statement: divine intimacy leads to missional intensity. Our relationship with God affects our relationships with other people. And so let me jump into that first part of our vision. It says this: in 10 years, we'll have guided over 1,000 people through a 10-week discipleship journey that will launch them on the adventure of experiencing the presence of God in their everyday life. So here's what that means. We're talking about a journey. We've phrased it as a journey. We feel like what we can do, and we've seen a history of this being successful at other churches and other places, and we feel like in 10 weeks through a community, we can really give people what they need to walk out the journey of faith for the rest of their life. We're not saying that once they get past 10 weeks, like, okay, you're done growing. Like you don't need any more as a Christian. We're not saying that, but you have the basics of what you need. It's like your pack has been filled with all the tools you need for the journey. Really, this is the start of the journey. You're trying to training, and then you're ready to go out there and hit all the summits in your spiritual life. So that's what that's about, like 10 years, a 10-week journey. We want to see 1,000 people in 10 years go through that. Now again, if we hit 999, we're not going to be upset. If we hit 800, we're not going to be upset. But we want to stretch ourselves and see, can we equip people in such a way that they can have a lifelong journey with Jesus? Now we believe this process will lead out into that relationship with God, that they'll know how to walk with God every day. So let me unpack that part for you in the vision. It says these are the people who walk through the process. They will walk with God each day through intimate prayer, deep reflection on Scripture, and the humble confession of sin. Those right there were markers we felt like really showed a mature relationship with God. Notice how it says reflecting on Scripture. So it's not about just reading Scripture. I think that's really important to us, that we really want you to reflect on God's Word, hear from Him, and then realize where are the places of need that you have in your life. That's the confession of sin. That's the intimate prayer. It's not just a prayer you throw out as kind of a routine, but it's really an intimate conversation you're having with God. Now, you probably notice, if you've been with Sonrise for a while, you know the Connect, Grow, Serve, Lead pathway that we've had. Really think of the 10-week journey as kind of those elements that we've seen be successful, amplified in a community that will hopefully lead out into a lifelong journey. Even groups that start the journey together will continue on to be groups together. So really we're wrapping those good things, adding some more things to it, and wrapping it in community, because we believe that accountability is key to help you continue to walk with the Lord. Now Aaron's going to unpack kind of how that works when you're walking out that mission to people who are not yet following Jesus.
Yeah. And really, that's like the Great Commission is twofold that God gives us. That it's to love God and love others. That divine intimacy will lead us to missional intensity. And so that's that second part of that as we walk. It says they will walk out the mission of God each day by caring, serving, and engaging with other followers of Jesus and those not yet following Jesus. Every aspect of their life will be dramatically impacted by their walk with God. The opportunity to engage God in the process of the journey, in being poured into by the reflection of Scripture, the humble confession of sin, the being in fellowship with one another. What God is doing in our lives will naturally just pour out of us. And that's what that looks like. And historically as a church, we at Sonrise have been a church that serves. We serve in our community, we serve each other here at the church, and that's going to continue because that's a natural part of the process and the journey of following Jesus. And so it's going to impact those that are part of our community as we engage in the opportunities that are here at Sonrise to serve each other, because that's an important thing. It's to serve each other well. We love each other as a church. But then to go outside of who we are right here in our community to reach those that haven't yet decided to follow Jesus. It's going to be a natural outpouring. It's going to be something that permeates every bit of our life. And so we're taking it with us to work, to our homes, to our family gatherings, to our neighborhoods, right in your backyard with the people that God puts in your context. And so it's just going to be a natural flow as we learn how to have this relationship with God, that it's just going to pour out of us everywhere we go.
Yeah, I love that last part where it says every aspect of their life will be dramatically impacted by their walk with God. Like just like Aaron was saying, like at your workplace, in your neighborhood, every aspect of your life. Think of it like We want to explode the idea of sacred space and time. That Sunday morning is not just, Sunday morning here at Sonrise is sacred space, sacred time. Like, this is where I have my moment with God. Now, we believe in this time. We love this time. But it's to catapult us out, to have sacred space and sacred time in every place we go. We go to the grocery store, when we go to our kids' football game, when we go to these different places, like, we are bringing sacred space and time to every place that we're at, really dramatically impacting all of our life because of our walk with the Lord. And the next video, we're going to talk about how does this look, how does this change or impact our gatherings as we come together. So make sure you check that video out.